Hi everyone, I'm Monica.
And I'm Matt.
And welcome to Triple Digs, where we share with you our adventures of being pet-sitting digital nomads.
In this video, we'll share our story of how we got into the pet-sitting digital nomad life. We'll talk about how we first learned of this lifestyle, what led us to get started, and how we secured our first 2 pet-sitting gigs and what we learned from those experiences. So,
let's dig in. So I had this cat named Rocco for 22 years. He was amazing. I miss him so much. But when he passed, Matt and I became serious about our goals of living outside of the country.
So we started to share our ideas of living abroad with friends and family. And one of my fitness clients was excited to hear this. She told us a story of a family member of hers who had lived in Europe for an entire year rent-free by doing pet sittings, house sittings. And she said that they lived in these wonderful houses, beautiful locations, and just had the time of her life. This sounded really exciting for us, so we started to look into it and seeing if we could incorporate pet sitting into our traveling.
Okay, so we went to the website trustedhousesitters.com, and it's very much like Airbnb, where people who are looking for sitters post details about their house, their dogs, their cats, their animals that they need taken care of. And on the other side, the pet sitters make a profile telling about, their likes, what they do for work, why they're part of this group, and all that. So we created a very detailed profile that included pictures, information about, who we are and what we do and why we're interested in doing this. We registered and we paid the annual fee, which is $130 for pet sitters, and it's $130 as well for the hosts.
Now that we had a profile set up on trustedhousesitters.com, it was time for us to look for our very first gigs. So this was an exciting step because we've both done pet sitting and house sitting for friends and family, but we've never done it for strangers. So here we are looking through the website, looking at all these listings. The website's set up so you can do filters, so you can filter out by city, by what kind of pets you're willing to watch. So we narrowed our search down to our city, Bellingham, Washington, and we narrowed it down to a duration of 3 days or less. So we wanted to be a really short pet sitting gig, just to feel it out and see how it went. We found a sitting for 2 days and 1 night for the next week, so we applied. Later that day, we got a response from the host, and after a few back and forth messages, we agreed to do the sit, and we set up a time to meet them at their home the day before their departure so that we could get prepped on everything about the house and the pets. The digs. When we met the host, we first took a tour of the house, which was quite spacious compared to our little 1-bedroom apartment. It had a large living room and kitchen space, plus the master bedroom and bathroom on the main floor. Downstairs, it had 2 guest bedrooms with a bathroom and an office area that was perfect for my online work. Outside was a beautiful yard with lovely trees and even a creek running through the property. The pets. Next, we were introduced to their 2 lovely dogs. One was an energetic and lovable miniature schnauzer, while the other was a shy and skittish Australian cattle dog. The sitting. So the next morning, I arrived at the house with an overnight bag, my work from home equipment, and some pre-cooked food that would last me through breakfast the following day. When I got there, I fed the dogs, played with them a little bit, and then I set up my laptop and work items. And yeah, it was great because both dogs were super cute. They hung out with me. The highlight of the day was when the miniature schnauzer just jumped onto my lap and decided to take a nap there while I was working. The next morning, the dogs were fed and the sit was completed. We got a message later in the afternoon when the host returned home saying that everything looked great, everything was wonderful, the dogs were happy. So yeah, that was it. Short and sweet and very successful. We got a little bit of a taste of what it would be like to live in someone else's home, a stranger's home, and take care of their pets. It was a wonderful experience.
So at first I was a bit skeptical. I didn't understand really how this was going to work, and is it going to be weird, and what are the animals going to be like, and is it going to be a lot of responsibility. But after the first short sit, we learned that it was a good experience and that it was doable and that we enjoyed it and it was easy. So we thought, okay, let's look into some longer sits.
So we logged back into our Trusted House Sitters account, and this time we changed our search criteria to look for sittings in Bellingham that were a week long. By the way, Bellingham is a super dog-friendly town, and just about everyone here has a dog. So when we had our search results come back, we had lots to choose from, and we ended up applying for a week-long sitting for an Australian Shepherd. I chose this one because this dog looked just like the family dog I had growing up. Same breed, same colors, everything. It felt like it was meant to be. That evening, we received a message from the host requesting a Zoom call the next day to see if it would be a good fit. During the Zoom call, they asked about our pet sitting experience, and they asked how long we planned to be in the house during the day with their dog. They were very relieved to hear that I would be working throughout the entire day in their house and that I could let their dog out into the backyard anytime. The digs. Similar to the first sitting, we met the hosts at their home the night before the sitting. The home was an older 2-story home with a nice deck and a backyard. All the bedrooms were upstairs, including the guest bedroom, which was quite large, and the bathroom. There was no office or desk, but the large dining room table was plenty of space for my needs to do work from home. The neighborhood was in a really nice, walkable part of town, and there were a couple of parks nearby, plus a dog park about a mile away. The pets. For this sit, we were taking care of a 2-year-old Australian Shepherd dog. He was so excited to see us when we first arrived, and throughout the entire stay, he was a happy, energetic dog that loved to go on walks, loved to sniff around, and loved to play anytime during the day. He was also very well trained by his owner, so it was very easy to take care of this highly energetic but obedient dog. The sitting. So the next morning, I arrived at the house with a carry-on size suitcase with a week's worth of clothes, all my work gear, and even some kitchenware. So I brought my Instant Pot, which I love to cook my meals from, and I also brought my Vitamix blender because I like to make a smoothie every morning and I like to make some smoothies after my workout. This ended up being a really great experience. I was still able to maintain my normal routines of eating, sleeping, working, and extracurricular activities. Even though I had daily chores, I really didn't mind at all, and I actually enjoyed going on the twice daily walks and getting a bit of extra fresh air myself. It was also really nice to have that companion throughout the day working from home, whereas in my apartment I'd usually be alone, so it was nice to have that extra friend with me.
Okay, so now we'll share with you what we learned on these first 2 sits. We learned that the website trustedhousesitters.com is very easy to navigate, very easy to find sits, and we also learned that communication with the hosts is very easy and straightforward. We learned that people are very nice, people are very trustworthy, and they just, are open and welcoming.
So after doing these first 2 local pet sittings, here are the top 5 benefits that we learned. Number 1, home is nearby. Both these sittings were about a 10-minute drive from our apartment, so we had the luxury of knowing that if we had forgotten something, we could just run home real quick and grab that, and that actually happened on both occasions. We also have a network of friends, family, and coworkers in the area, so that should something go wrong during the sit, we could easily call someone and get some help immediately. Number 2, familiarity with the area. By doing these sittings locally, we had, of course, an advantage versus doing these in cities that we had never been to. We already know where all the stores are at, what the weather could be like. If we have pets, then we know where the pet-friendly areas are, where the parks are, where the vets are, and we know about our favorite watering holes and our attractions. So it's one less thing that we have to think about or research about if we were in a new city by doing a local sit. Number 3, maintaining a daily routine. I learned that it was easy for me to maintain my daily routines because these sits were very close to our home. I was able to do my same work schedule, my same exercise schedule, my same extracurricular activities, all because I was physically near where I normally would do those things. Number 4, minimal travel costs and logistics. We could see how attractive it would be to do sittings in faraway remote places, but those would incur costs to get to those places, such as airfare or gas to drive there. But by doing these local sits that were only 10 minutes away from our home, we had no additional cost when it came to travel or logistics. Number 5, living in a different space and neighborhood. The funnest benefit of doing local pet sittings is that we get to play house in someone else's house and enjoy the amenities of that house and of that neighborhood. Both these sittings were in houses which were much larger than our apartments, so we got to enjoy larger kitchens, larger living spaces, backyards with decks, and we also got to explore neighborhoods that we weren't too familiar with. So we got to enjoy the local parks, walk around, and really learn and feel a new part of our community. So if we were to summarize these benefits and our experiences into one sentence, it would be that doing local pet sittings is a low-risk way to try out pet sitting. So overall, we feel this is a win-win-win situation. The first win is for the pets, for the animals. So while their parents are away, they are being well taken care of by us, and they don't have to be boarded and have any trauma with that experience. So they get to go through their normal daily routines with us. The second win is for the pet parent or the host. While they're away, they get to have peace of mind that their fur babies are being taken care of, and that their house and their mail and their plants are also being taken care of. So it's one less thing for them to worry about while they're away. And then finally, of course, it's a win for us because we get to travel, we get to stay in some amazing homes, meet amazing people, and then take care of some wonderful, wonderful pets. By doing this, we get to save money on housing costs because we will not have any permanent housing and we'll just be going from one pet sitting gig to another. We look forward to doing more pet sittings and more house sittings and sharing our adventures with you.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next dig. And welcome to Triple Digs, where we share our adventures of being pet-sitting digital nomads. Traveling. Pet-sitting traveling nomads.
I've already forgot my lines already.
Okay, note to self, do not become actors. Are you ready?
In this video, we'll share our as they're away or as they're on vacation. And then finally, that's of course a win for, oh boy. Good.
That was perfect.